Afternoon, guys. We will start with the broadcast section with no embargo, followed by an embargo section for 10:30pm tonight. No live tweeting during the broadcast section, and use microphone provided. Michael.
How you doing, Andrew? Right?
I'm good, Mike.
I really like the interview you had this week, Australian telly. I'm sorry if it's going to maybe repeat yourself a little bit, but just in terms of the 4 defeats, but sort of you relishing it and the challenge over the next few years, if you just sort of tell us more about that, because I just enjoyed the whole interview, basically.
I think I know which one you're referencing. Yeah, look, I think I've been pretty consistent in saying that we've got a sort of a challenge at the moment, a short-term challenge, but I always believe that they're a constant in any kind of significant sort of rebuild you're doing, that the challenges will always be there. It's how you approach them, how you tackle them, because invariably there'll be another one down the road. And, provided you get through them in the right way and with the right sort of attitude. And I think that's probably, from my perspective, the most important time for me to kind of make sure that I'm clear-headed about, what we're trying to do and what we're trying to achieve, and more than anything be, as visible as possible in that process, because, it's fair to say it's everyone's trying hard. It's not through the want of trying. So, you've got to make sure that, you stay calm, clear-headed, and sort of chart the way forward.
Over the last few weeks, do you feel maybe there's more to do and there might be more players than you realise that might just not be the ones you need going forward, though, and tougher decisions might need to be made in the summer? No. I mean, I think I've tried to be as consistent as I possibly can in saying we've still got a long way to go, and that hasn't changed from the moment I started till now. And I think sometimes, if both in a positive and negative sense, if you go on sort of short-term stuff, you're liable to jump at the wrong conclusions and wrong decisions. Again, the planning for the summer's been well in hand for quite a while. We know what we need to do. Nothing in that sort of space has changed. So, for me, how players deal and staff deal with adversity is more important in terms of our growth than sort of a reflection of us needing to make more changes. There was a nice moment at the end of the Liverpool game, and we've been running that on Sky all week, where you're with the supporters and you're pounding your heart and then you're touching your head. What was the actual message there?
I really can't recall, to be honest. But look, I understand what the fans are going through at the moment, and it's never nice when you go through these periods. But as I said, I think, I don't think it's through the want of trying, and I still firmly believe we're on the right track, and this is just some of the growing pains you need to go through, and as much as you'd like to, avoid it, it is part of the process of growth. And, for fans, for us as a football club, is to understand that the road forward is a challenging one. But every time we get through these periods, I think we come out stronger, and hopefully that'll happen this time.
And finally, big weekend for the football club, and Spurs women have got a huge FA Cup final. Just wanted to...
Massive. Massive. Rob and his players have been outstanding this year, I think, the whole year. Again... they've made significant inroads in terms of their progress, and the opportunity to play at Wembley, the opportunity to win a trophy is brilliant for them. It's brilliant for our football club, and couldn't wish them all the best. I think they'll acquit themselves well. They've shown some real good sort of resilience during the year, and I think they'll hold them in good stead. Thanks, mate.
JD.
JD Dyer from PLP. And good afternoon, first of all.
Good afternoon, mate.
As you're well aware, obviously, failure for Burnley this weekend will lead them back to the Championship. I just want to know, from your perspective, how do you mentally get your team ready for a team that's going to be on the verge of desperation and probably come with an extra edge this weekend? How do you mentally get your team ready for something like that?
Yeah, I think, again, I'm pretty consistent in saying that I think you've got to sort of block that stuff out. And what's really important is that we kind of prepare ourselves for another big challenge, for sure. But, you get to this time of the year, and most of the games are games of consequence. Everyone's playing for something. We're certainly still playing for something. So
you don't want to fall in the trap of kind of, expecting something different other than a really tough opponent. As you said, Burnley need a result tomorrow. And, they've been really aggressive in their approach in trying to get there. If you look at the last sort of few weeks, they've picked up results and they've been a lot more aggressive in the way they've gone about it. So I think they feel like, well, we're going to go for it if we're going to have any chance to survive. So we're expecting a tough game. But I think from where we're at the moment, I think much more important is how we kind of go into the game with a focus on our football.
On that note, obviously, for the standards you've set for yourself, 60 minutes that game last week would have been disappointing for your own standards. But there was a 30-minute period where there was probably some building blocks. So how can you take the positives that you saw maybe those last 30 minutes and kind of express them this weekend?
Yeah, look, I thought there was positives in the first 60 minutes as well. I said after the game, it was obviously a disappointing defeat, but I thought we played more like ourselves. I thought there was a lot more sort of a conviction in our football, a preparedness to try and play against a really good opposition and put pressure on them. Obviously, when you're 4-0 down, it doesn't look great, but as I said, that gives me something to build on. And last half hour was good from an output point of view, but I felt the thing that was missing before that was our final third action, and that kind of flipped on its head in the last half hour. We got a lot more effective in the final third. So, as I said, it was disappointing, obviously, to not get the result in the way we lost the game. But there was enough there for me to provide feedback for the boys.
And then, obviously, we know we've still got a couple of weeks left in terms of the season. But we've seen the infectious energy you've had all year. So what have you kind of learned about yourself during this process in terms of your debut year in the Premier League? And what can you take as springboard to next year as well?
Yeah, nothing too spectacular. I am sort of who I am. I think I haven't I've resisted the notion to try and change the kind of person I am, and it's not easy in the Premier League with all the attention and scrutiny, and everything you say and do is kind of measured. And it's very easy to sort of, get distracted by that. But I think, nothing I've learned about myself this year that I didn't already know is that I'm not a perfect human being, mate, and I'll keep moving on.
Perfect.
To Dan, please.
Hi, Ange. Can I ask you about left back? Ollie Skipp came on in Liverpool and did quite well, I thought, for half an hour. Is he in contention to play that role? Yeah,
look, we've been working with Skippy last few weeks. Obviously, when we lost Destiny, then we lost Ben, and we kind of left with Emerson, who's not really left back, and we're kind of looking around at options, and at training we've just been using him in that space. I thought he did do well when he came on. Look, I guess the way we played fullbacks. Certainly with some of the positioning, he wouldn't be, he wouldn't be too unfamiliar with some of the positions he'd need to take up as a midfielder. So he is an option for us. I think we need another option because we've got 3 games this week, and we've only got sort of Emerson as sort of a backup fullback at the club. So it's an option for us.
I wonder if I could just ask you directly whether Skipp is part of your plans going forward, because there was a period a few games ago where he wasn't getting in the squad at all, and it feels like he's probably at a part of his career where he needs games. So do you see him having a future here?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. Yeah, he probably feels like he could have played more this year, and again, I think the way the sort of season's gone for us in terms of our games program, he's probably one of the ones that suffered because we haven't been able to sort of, get the sort of game time rotations we needed through the year. But I see Skippy as part of our future.
Thanks. Ali, please.
Can I just check on team news if there's any fresh injuries?
No, nothing from last week.
And, you mentioned there about the extra scrutiny you have, and obviously you've very much stuck to the person you've always been. But I think you've also mentioned in the past about maybe sometimes having confidants who you've spoken to. And has there ever been kind of moments this season, or more moments where you've slightly wavered, or anything about?
No. I'm sorry to disappoint. If you want me to crumble, I can pretend, but I'm fine. I'm all good. I've loved and enjoyed every single second of it, mate. Even these Friday half-hour little powwows we have, mate. It's all been brilliant. I've loved every minute of it, and the confidence I have, we just talk a bit of crap for an hour or so because we're all going through similar stuff. But I'm in a really good space.
Good to hear. On a slightly grander powwow, you went to Buckingham Palace this week. Just wondering how that came about and what was it like?
Yeah, we got an invite from the Australian government. Me and the other Aussies in the group here. So Millet, Scott, I think Charlie, great from the women's team. It was nice, different experience. Just really inspiring because you kind of, the people we met there, people who work for charities, great causes, military people who are real heroes in society. Obviously they know who I am and they'll come up and say hello, but then just asking them about who they are in their life is just, you just see so many fantastic people who do so much in communities, often without a lot of, heralding from the wider public or acknowledgement. And I could see how happy they were to be there, how important, because finally somebody, there was some acknowledgement for them. And and bizarrely enough, the sun was shining, mate, so here in London. So, we had a really nice afternoon.
Was there any element of a pinch me moment for you, obviously, how far you've come, your journey, and then to be at Buckingham Palace with the King and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get within 10 feet of the King, mate, so it's not like we had and if I had got closer, I probably would have asked him about the Parthenon marbles and I would have probably got thrown out at some point. But no, it was nice for me and my wife. And like I said, these are kind of experiences that you're just fortunate because of the position I hold, not because necessarily because who I am, that, you get these opportunities. And like I said, what we try and do, my wife and I, is just, really immerse ourselves in that. And just, like I said, just seeing the people in there and hearing their stories, it just, and more the joy they had of being there in that moment. And, whether it's significant for me and my wife, just seeing how significant it is for them and you're in that space is just, it's special. So, it was a good day.
Finish with George, please.
Hi, Ange. I was just reading, apparently the King is a fan of Burnley. That's his football team. So are you ready to...
That's probably why they kept him away from me, mate.
Are you ready to disappoint him tomorrow and potentially...
I'd be happy to disappoint him on that front, mate. No, not a problem.
On a serious note, I mean, the last sort of run of games, I think 3 of the 4 defeats have been away, but how sort of keen are you to kind of get back to winning ways tomorrow and give the fans something for the backing they've shown, I guess, over this last week or so?
I think that's important. As you said, 3 of the 4 defeats were away from home, and then we had the Arsenal game at home where, we lost, but, we at least we gave something to our supporters. But I think it is important. Look, our supporters have been unbelievable this year for us. They've stuck with us and been a real source of encouragement for the players, home and away. And, they've sort of, experiences have been, up and down, obviously, but they haven't wavered in their support. And, it's an opportunity with these last 2 home games on Saturday and Tuesday for us to hopefully send them off to the summer with, not what we wanted to achieve this year, but with a hope that, come next year, they're going to be ready to get behind us again.
And just funny for me, Richarlison scored at Liverpool, and that's the type of goal he's scored a few times this season, and I believe the type of goal your forwards generally do score. How much do you feel he's got to grips with what you want from him, and is he someone that you see as a sort of a key part of what you're doing here moving forward into next season? Yeah, no, look, Richy's been really good for us this year. I mean, you've got to remember, when I took over, he'd scored 1 goal for the club, and, for all intents and purposes, the jury was pretty much out on him in terms of any contributions. And, he's in the double figures this year, I'm pretty sure, and he's missed a huge chunk of it. But every time he's played, he's looked effective like he did against Liverpool. Scored a good goal, set up the second one. A bit unlucky on a couple of other occasions, the one Alisson saved and sort of Gomez has cleared off the line. So, and like I said, he's been really effective for us, and I think the way we play suits him to
to a great degree, and I think that's why he's got the goals. But he's also worked hard himself. So, yeah, it's just like I said, it's unfortunate. He's had a season of reflective of a lot of players that we've never had them sort of for a huge chunk of time consistently.
Okay, we'll end the broadcast section there. Move on to the embargoed section for 10:30 p.m. tonight. Tom.